and here we are. What's good, everybody? Welcome in to your favorite remote YouTube social media show in the pro wrestling universe. And do we have a ton of content to get to today? Over the course of the next 60 to 90 minutes, we talk about the business of pro wrestling, not just breaking down segments, although we will break down the final segment from Monday afternoon Raw here in the States. Now, I cannot do this show by myself. You know who my partner is, the greatest writer of all time, the creative voice behind JCW, and the man who Rob Van Dam says is about to explode the Juggalos. My guy, Vince Russo. Good afternoon, sir.
What is going on, Coach? How you doing? Coach, I know what story you're going to lead into, but can you tag me in for a second? I just want everybody to know before Coach and I go off, I got this text message from a friend of mine who is a WWE fan.
Okay.
He is a WWE fan, watches every WWE show.
Okay.
This is the text. I want people to understand before Coach and I comment. This is the text.
Okay.
I cannot wait for you to make a video on this. Gunther just tapped out on Raw to Styles, even though the ref didn't see it. How the F do you do that when you're trying to build a guy on tapping out John Cena? This is asinine. I literally can't believe they just did that. Vincenzo, you're going to shake your head when you see this. That's a WWE fan, Coach.
That has nothing to do with us.
Nothing.
That has nothing to do with the show. So we're going to piggyback that text. But before we do, on Mondays, things are a little bit different than on Thursdays when we're on Stadium. So tell the good people at home how they can be a part of the show.
Super sticker or donation, guys, $5 or more. We will pull you up on the screen. We will include you in on this conversation. But, Coach, what happens when they hit the magic number of $10?
Oh, Vince, I'm so glad you asked. Because if we get a $10 super sticker, then you get a spot on Thursday. Now, you got to be watching live. And we give you the email, but we have so many winners. And Vince, I got word this morning that the Mamby-Pamby t-shirts, they're back in stock.
Nice.
So
nice.
People can get them. Again, I'm hoping by February 1st, our merch store is updated because we got a lot of things going on behind the scenes. But we have 2 or 3 other things that are getting ready to pop off. We just have to make them. But that's what the Coach and Roulette Wheel will be on Thursday. And if we have enough, you guys know me. I'm very, very generous. We might even do 2. We'll have to wait and see.
Very nice.
We don't know. But so, Vince, I'm so glad you read that text because that's exactly where we're going to start this show. Those of you who have found us, and I see the numbers every day, we're growing like crazy. Part of the reason we're growing, Vince, is that we keep it real. We're honest, good, bad, indifferent. And we both disagreed with the finish to the John Cena match with Gunther because we've seen the track record that unless you use it, you're wasting it. So I said I'd give them a month to make him the killer that he needs to be. And Vince, tomorrow is exactly 1 month from Saturday night's main event. And on the eve of that, we have the killer, right? The guy who's going to be, everybody's going to be afraid of him. I don't care if the refs saw him tap or not. They had him tap. Why would they do this?
You know, Coach, again, I could play the music. Listen, let's go back to Cena's last match.
Yes.
Okay, let's go back to the famous words of Vince McMahon. It's the time and honor tradition. So that says Cena's got to put somebody over on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, in their minds, because they don't build anybody, they don't get anybody over, was Gunther like the lesser of all evils? to be the guy to get the rub or get the shine off of Cena? Because I'm only saying, guys, I'm trying to put myself in their shoes. Coach said a month has gone by. You guys know I'm writing again for JCW. If I have Gunther, it's heat. Now we've got 4 weeks of no heat. 4 weeks of no heat. So again, I'm not going to sit here and say these guys are incompetent. I'm not going to say Triple H is incompetent. I don't believe that. I don't believe Triple H is a stupid person. So what's going on? It could only mean one thing. They don't believe in Gunther. That's what it means to me. Somebody got the favor, but at the end of the day, you don't believe in a guy like this as a monster heel coach and book him this way. You just don't do that.
It's embarrassing. It really, really is. And as much as we joke about, well, we're right or they were wrong, we literally, and I work, you and I both have other big shows. And I work with a bunch of people on SiriusXM that are old school guys. So I said, you know what? I'll back off. I'll take my opinion down and I'll give them a month. Vince, I agree with you. I don't think Triple H and the entire creative team is stupid. But to use that tap out, which is one of the GOATs, one of the faces on the Mount Rushmore, you can't blow that. How do you forget? Because that's been their MO, is forgetting about big things that they do. The Jade Cargill attack, the Naomi stuff, the other attacks that they have simply forgotten. What are they going to do with LA Knight? My point is, Vince, when you're in the room, and I would love for you to describe this as a head writer, if Gunther's your number one guy or your number one heel, and I think it also makes him look worse because Drew McIntyre is doing everything, and Raquel Rodriguez, that Gunther should be doing. So do you think Gunther's walking in saying, guys, what the hell is going on? Because clearly he did business today, and I can't imagine, Vince, that he was very happy about it.
Well, I hope he is, Coach. I hope he is because, again, guys, I'm telling you, man, when you're writing professional wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it, guys, it writes itself. It just writes itself. If you go from one show to the next show to the next show, seamless, it writes himself. Gunther gets Cena to tap out. Heat that next show. Mm-hmm. Heat the show after. These guys know this. Heyman knows this. Hayes knows this. Triple H knows this. They all know this. So what is it then, guys? What is it? Was there nobody else to do the favor and you let Gunther do the favor and now 4 weeks in, we don't believe he's the guy?
It's got to be that, Vince. Or they're looking at, and I said this after one of their live event holiday shows. I said, guys, listen to the crowd. Listen to the crowd. They were already almost like, And I like to put it on other things because the one thing that I'm kind of tired of is you and I will point something out on this show. Clearly, the fans agree because they keep coming here in droves. But the loudest ones, who are the ones on Twitter and all the different platforms, you guys just hate because you want to get your jobs back. We're showing you right here and right now the mistakes in this booking. And Vince, what's crazy is this is not that difficult. This is kind of 101 that they're messing up on, which I find incredibly mind-numbing. And I would love to be in the room, wouldn't you, to hear the discussions on how they're figuring out how to absolutely throw away anything they had. And it's almost like the way that the Cena thing should have ended. They butchered all the rest of it. So why shouldn't they butcher this too?
Yeah, guys, seriously, I would love to sit here. I really would love to sit here, analyze this, and be able to give you an answer. I really would. Coach, anybody could tune into our Thursday show. And this is exactly what I said. No way they can keep the belt on Punk and keep the belt on Cody. No way. They got to flip one of the two because they need something. And they did that. And good for them. I applaud that because
Me
if
too.
you would have had Cody go over and there was no change, come on, guy. So I applaud them for that. I really wish I could sit here and give you an explanation of why Gunther taps out John Cena and 4 weeks in a row they don't get heat on him. I wish I could explain that to you. Here's what's going through my mind. Is Seth Rollins coming back sooner than expected, and they want to put the belt back on Seth, and maybe Gunther is just holding that place? It's got to be something we don't see or we're not privy to. Otherwise, it makes absolutely zero sense, Coach. So I really wish I could sit here and tell you why, because as a writer, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think you just hit the nail on the head. I've got two things. That when they made this match last week and they wanted to create, and I want you to weigh in on this first, they wanted to create not the legend killer, but the career killer. I was down for it. I was like, if that's who he's going to be, you end the career of Cena, then you'd have AJ Styles in 2026. You could have Randy Orton in 3 years, whatever that is. But I said, why would they have him go head up against AJ Styles right now? Because they're going to have to give AJ something. And the other part of this is that AJ is showing up on TNA on their TV debut on Thursday. So if I'm AJ, I want to look good on TV. And those are two reasons, Vince, I never would have booked him for Gunther right now, because giving him something takes something away from Gunther. To me, you had many other opportunities, or maybe not book him in a match. Book him doing what you and I have talked about, attacking somebody backstage, and then that's it. And that, to me, would do way more than a wrestling match for 22 minutes as the main event. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, you know, see again, Coach, oh my gosh, they've just built nobody. They haven't built anybody that means something. And I'm going to translate this over to Cody, because I've really started figuring something out. I said this on Thursday's show. I don't think anybody, any of the fans, are going to be in a hurry for Cody to get his title back. Mm-hmm. I think they're happy it's on Drew. It finally Drew. It's something new. But, Coach, here's why I was afraid they're not going to get behind Cody again. Because, Coach, they have a habit of, once they build somebody to that spot, they don't keep elevating them.
Yes.
And that's what happened. Why do you think Austin week 1, Zamboni, week 2, beer truck, week 3, we're going to fill a Corvette with cement? That's how you kept him over. And that's how you kept the fans wanting him in that spot. Cody wins the title, Coach. And what did he have? One title defense in like a couple of months? So the problem is they stop building him, and that's why, Coach, we're getting a lot of flavors of the month. That's what we're getting. When Cody had to finish his story, that was the flavor of the month. They got their flavor and never did anything with Cody again. And bro, they've been booking that way for years, Coach.
And I don't know what it's going to take for them to listen to voices like ours, because I'm quite sure that they'll walk in, and we know they listen because we've been quoted before. They probably laugh at us. That's what I'm guessing, because that's what you do when you respect somebody, but you don't want people to know that you respect their take, because a lot of what we talk about here actually comes to fruition, and it's not by luck that you and I are right. It's because we've lived through it, because we've watched it. I will bring up the recent interview, Vince, with John Cena when he sat down with Cody and talked about the finish to his math with Gunther. What did they talk about? Well, you've got to, when somebody walks out the door, you got to do this. How about the Brock stuff all the way back at WrestlePalooza? Still no answer for that. So what did you and I say? We said, well, they're not going to figure this out because they did nothing with Brock. And we were right once again. Now with Cody, what do you do with him? Because they did the right move. There's at least, I just did my radio show. There's at least 6 or 7 guys that, do you know 6 or 7? It's very juvenile. I apologize. But with Drew, you got 6 or 7 guys that you could put him up against. With Cody, it's like you and I talked about it. Who would you have there? So it made all the sense in the world. But now what do you do with Cody? I think that is the big question moving forward.
Well, I think I don't think they have any other choice, Coach, because they did the little showdown between Cody and Jacob Fatu. Obviously, Jacob Fatu is going to be a huge baby face, so the only thing they could do is turn Cody heel. There is no other option because you're not going to put Cody and Jacob Fatu in a babyface match because nobody's going to be rooting for Cody. You've got to turn Cody heel.
And we said that, too, that it didn't make any sense for all of these baby faces to walk up to Cody and tell him on the show, hey, good, Cardona did, hey, good luck tonight, but I'm coming after that title. And when you see 3 or 4 baby faces do that in a row, you're like, why don't they just move it off of him and then Cody can go in another direction? But let me ask you this, Vince. If Cody's going to go with Jacob Fatu, which seems like the way they would go, they don't like putting young talent into a main event mix. I could very well see Obafemi, who put his title down at NXT. So he's coming up to one of these 2 shows, but I've heard they're going to put him on Raw and not here. And Vince, why would they do that? Because that's a natural thing. Drew ruined the match with Oba and Cody at the main event. So why are we only looking at the Cody side? Why can't we look at the Obafemi side?
Well, Coach, I'm telling you, I keep reading, man, and I don't know how many months ago I told you this. I kept reading that Sami Zayn's going to beat Drew McIntyre, man. I keep reading it, and I keep reading it, and Vince, I'm like, Coach, we said Vince, this how long ago? Vince, how long ago did we say this? Okay. What did we say? He's going to win that Royal Rumble, and now that people are predicting that Sami Zayn is going to be Cody.
Oh, my God.
Drew.
So he's a part of this number 1 contender situation where it's 8 guys, 4 matches. The 4 winners go into a fatal 4-way on Saturday night's main event the week before the Rumble. But it begs the question. At the Rumble, remember what Bruce Pritchard just said on his show where he said because of streaming and all this, no more than 5 matches, right? He said that. No longer than 3 hours. He said that, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting that he would say that right before the Royal Rumble. Because, Vince, if you were writing the show and you've got 2 Rumble matches, I would move it to 1 minute in between, by the way. Mm-hmm. They both of them always last over an hour. So that's over 2 hours just for the 2 matches. What other 3 matches are you giving them on the Rumble pay-per-view if you've got all of these question marks when it comes to what are they going to do with the 2 respective titles?
Yeah. It's funny. Here's the funny thing. The way Coach just laid it out, what are they going to do with the 2 titles? And it's like, okay, bro, we're supposed to be sitting here waiting and watching what they do. Here's the bottom line. They don't know what they're going to do, guys. You're watching a show where they don't know what they're going to do. Hey, Coach, you used to know, bro, it used to be you would follow the story because you kind of knew where it was going. That's how we were trained. That's how it used to be. The mega powers explode. Come on, man. We didn't know that's the road they were going down. Bro, this stuff changes week to week to week to week. They have no idea where they're going with any of this, Coach.
I had one of my main contacts reached out to me this week. Oh, by the way, Vince, not to continue to pat myself on the back, Did Jericho show up this week on Raw today? Anybody know? Oh, he did. Oh, he didn't. Okay,
Yeah,
that's just
you
that's just
didn't. Wait a minute. You didn't gloat enough. You let everybody off the hook too easy. I don't know if somebody got in your ear, but like you come on, coach. There was a lot more celebrating to do last week, man.
well. I mean, I'm kind of saving it, to be
Oh,
honest with
yeah,
you.
all right.
I'm
Okay.
saving it because
All
I
right.
have proof of what I predicted. And if it all comes to fruition, trust and believe, Vince, in 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks, maybe this will be the spot. But you're absolutely right. Unlike the dirt sheet writers out there. By the way, did you see your boy? Did I always like supplying you with material for castrating the marks.
Yeah.
Have you seen what your boy said
Yeah.
about he doesn't pay attention to other awards, only his own awards?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Please tell me you're going to put that on
Oh
castrating the
God.
marks.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Come
Yes.
on. Come
Yes.
on. Vince, we have a ton of super stickers already. A ton of questions. So we'll weave in and out of the topics. But you guys are always so rude, interrupting us with super stickers. Come on. Keep them coming. Our guy, smartest Mark alive, he put out a tweet. I'm so proud of this guy. I called him out in the last show, but he's literally taking his love because of our show, and he's doing it. He
Yeah,
is doing it.
awesome,
So
man. Thank you.
uh,
Thank you. Thank you.
this is 3 spots on the Coach and Brolette wheel, by the way, producer man. With TNA's new TV deal, they must focus on their talent, not lean on NXT WWE to pop ratings. If their stories, characters can't stand alone, they'll never build a core audience. Maybe WWE wants that so they can buy them for nothing. I've seen that, Vince, out there a lot in the rumor mills that WWE either A, wants to buy them eventually. I don't know that necessarily be a good thing for TNA to have WWE own them. Do you?
I just, man, just coach, I'm just looking at all these companies. I'm looking at TNA, NXT, WWE, AEW. What's different about all of these companies? Why is TNA going to be different than anything else? We're just seeing the same thing over and over and over again. And you've got a built-in audience, yes, but you're never going to draw more fans, man.
Unless you do. I mean, that is kind of, for people who are watching right now, the entire thought process, especially if you're TNA, should be, or at least it would be if it were me. And I do a show with Tommy Dreamer on Tuesdays, and he's kind of the head of creative, one of the executives. And I would assume, Vince, and tell me what you think of at JCW, that your entire process should be, yes, we have our core audience, but how do we get the casuals? How do we get to grow from 200,000 to 300,000? Or if you're AEW, from 450 to 550, like small increments. What's the mindset? What's the plan? What can you do to get that average person who's going by, click, click, oh, let me stop here on AMC just a little bit? What can they do?
They need TV people, coach. There's no TV people in wrestling. I love Dreamer. I really do. I had to fight tooth and nail to involve Dreamer in creative at TNA when I was there. That's how much I admire Tommy Dreamer. Look at all the people in charge, guys. There's no TV people. They're all wrestling people. As long as they're all wrestling people, you're going to get wrestling shows. It's that simple. It's simple mathematics. There's no television people involved in any company. The only difference with AEW is, Tony Khan is a wrestling mark. He's not a former wrestler like a Triple H or a Tommy. He's a wrestling mark. But when you have wrestling people, this is all you're going to get.
By the way, the petty machete side of the coach, you know what I was going to suggest to producer man? Because there was another 8-minute plus, I won't even call it a promo, whatever Tony Khan calls it, where he's standing in front of the camera and he looks and goes, count me in. Okay. All right. Okay. And I don't know if producer man has it or so. The other day there was an 8-minute plus where he puts over every match on the card. And I always go back to WWVD and what would Vince do? McMahon. And he had this jacket on. And Vince, I kid you not. Do you know what like the VFW Hall or the American Legion Hall is? You know what that is, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So they all have member jackets, is what they call them. So, and leave this up for a second. So, as he's bringing talent into it, and so what they did in this little piece was they suggested a match that turned into a 6-way because another talent walks in. But then Vince, I had to stop it. What is that on his arm?
It looks like patches. It looks like an AEW patch and a Jacksonville Jaguar patch.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And Vince, those don't sell in stores. You don't walk into Men's Warehouse. Oh, here's a jacket in my size with a patch of the team that I co-own with my dad and AEW. I'm assuming. Have you ever seen one at Men's Warehouse or
Never seen one.
Never seen one. So it mean that this would have to be made, correct?
Yes. I want to point something out. Keep that picture up, please. Okay. Producer man, please keep that picture up.
Okay.
Coach, what was I just saying?
You were saying
there's no television.
No television writers, yes.
Does this look like a scene from a television show or an indie wrestling production? Right here. This scene right in front of you. Do you see anything like this on television? No. This is a scene from an indie wrestler. I don't even know who these two wrestlers are, but look at this scene. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. A casual viewer watching television, seeing this scene, this is freaking amateur. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Coach.
So this is why, and this is where we're trying to help Tony Khan, is he recently said, I'm paraphrasing, I'm bringing my circle very close. I've been influenced too much by the outside. So I'm going to do what is authentic to AEW. That's fine, Vince. If that's what he wants to do, cool. But the stuff, I always like to use this term, control the controllables, meaning control what you can control. And if you're not bringing in somebody like yourself or somebody that simply knows how to set up shots. Remember when in WWE, they would have people, their entire jobs, set up a shop. We would build walls, sets sometimes to make it look good. And this was 8.5 minutes, by the way. This is a still shot of an 8.5-minute video. And this is like then they had the third guy that came in, I actually am a fan of, to be honest with you. But Vince, I'm trying to figure out if anybody can even get through to him at this point.
Coach, I want to point this out because I am now an on-air character. You know, Vince McMahon was an on-air character. Eric Bischoff was an on-air character. Guys, if you see this scene, Coach told me to watch it at a certain time code, and I watched it. It is horrible. And the reason I bring up all those names, Coach, is if I was in there, or Vince, or Eric, each one of us would have said, that sucks. I suck. Stop. Do it again. Not him. This thing went on and it was horrible. So now I'm asking the question. People, you got to understand something. Coach, I ask myself these questions all the time. So I'm watching the time code where you sent it. These are the two things going through my head. Number one, I'm a producer. I couldn't produce something this bad if it was my intention. That's number one. Number two, Coach, I'm watching this. I'm saying, does Tony not know that this is horrible? Like literally, does he really believe this is good? And there's one person watching this show believing any of this. But again, Coach, he's the owner. Is somebody producing this? Is the producer going to say, man, Tony, that was the drizzle and shits? That's the problem, man. That is the problem.
When I was told that I have heat with Tony Khan from somebody in AEW, and the reason for it, I thought it was ridiculous, but like, you know what? I'll catch a break, or I'll give them a break. And if they're mad at us for this, then
Please,
they're so far
please,
gone in
please.
where where their focus should be. This is a show that's on TBS. It's on TNT. It's on HBO Max. And when you're coming on, if you hire a social media expert, they're going to tell you 60 seconds or less for any promo. They're going to tell you, Vince, the first 5 seconds, unbelievably important in a short and or a reel, whatever you want to call it, on IG. There is no universe where you do 6 minutes and then you bring talent in to sell a match. And I sent this to producer man also because I wanted to see every angle. No mics, which means they basically shot it on an iPhone. Vince, they have TV crews. They have handhelds. They have boom mics. And I said, producer man, any of that used here? He goes, nope. And his quote was, dog shit.
Yeah.
To the audio of this. It's the details, Vince, that we talk about all the time. Do you want to be great? Do you want people to look at your stuff and, to your point, the casuals come by and go, damn, I want to watch this. And I want to watch this guy who's running it. And if nobody's telling him that, if Will Washington, who bragged about 16 years on a podcast, is not teaching him some of his knowledge from all the years of doing that, then, Vince, they're never going to help themselves. They're in complete denial.
And here's my first question. These are your stars?
Well, this was for Collision, not for Dynamite.
What is Collision on?
It's on TNT.
Okay, I don't give a shit, Coach. It's a television show. These are the stars of your television. Then what do the mid-carders look like?
Details. Vince, at some point, people are going to realize we know what the hell we're talking about. And I did this whole big rant today about Drew McIntyre and how he tweeted out that, and we're going to show the tweet here in a second. And Drew is one of the few guys in wrestling that understand if you're Brad Pitt and you're a movie star, Vince, then when you go out to the Golden Globes like last night, or you go out to the Oscars, are you going to look like crap, or are you going to look like a movie star?
Yep.
You're not called a movie extra. You're called a movie star. And I wish more of these talents would recognize that. If you're going to wear sweats, fine. Make it look sharp. When you don't just walk in. But my guess is, Vince, that they were shooting this. They said, hey, let's just throw a couple of talent into it. And then walked out of the hallway. And this was, he put over, you watched it. What, 8 matches, 10 matches in this video?
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to start an over-under on how many times he says exciting in his promos.
Yeah.
Who's writing this stuff? Answer is nobody. Stop saying that I've got heat or any of us have heat. Just fix your stuff or hire us, which we don't want, by the way. But damn, I'll send you the stuff. But that right there, oh my gosh. Can you imagine, Vince, if you shot that and you walked it into Vince's office and said, hey, boss,
are you kidding me?
What would he have said?
It would have never happened. Never in a million years is that going to happen.
Oh my gosh. I'd be scared to death to press play on that.
Yeah.
But he continues to do it. Stop doing it. Put over your best match. Put over your top 2 matches. Make your talent compete to get in those promos.
Yep.
Compete. Oh, Tony put me over tonight, Vince. That means I had a great match. Not he's a great superstar. She's wonderful. She's nice. It's exciting. This is going to be an exciting match. Come on. Where's the we have more energy on this show than they have in their entire shows.
And here's the bottom line. You and I, we're watching this, and we'll watch next week, and we'll watch the week after that, because this is what we do, and this is what we get paid to do.
100%.
Your average viewer, they'll watch that, and they'll never watch you again.
And that's why you go from 500 to 475 to 450 to last week. And I even gave them a pass. I said it's because it was New Year's Eve, but they barely got over 400,000. Barely over 400,000. All right, we've got a lot of super stickers because you guys are amazing and you trust us. Thank you. Another person on the Brolette wheel, Guillermo, 1990. He goes, I have heat with Vince for having 3 matches with weapons in one show. Love JCW, and I hope there isn't drama in the back end because I know Vince wouldn't have allowed that on purpose.
Yeah, it's listen. I'm not. I'll take full responsibility, but guys, you got to understand. Like the writer really doesn't get involved with the match the talent lays out, and they should. That's a no-no, man. If there's 3 matches with weapons, that is a no-no. And I'm glad. I'm glad when stuff like that is pointed out. I'm not going to block Guillermo. I'm not going to block him. What that's going to remind me of is when I go to Denver on Saturday to shoot a show. Hey, Vince, remember what he said? Let's look at these matches individually and make sure that doesn't happen again. I welcome that. That's the difference.
100%. It's constructive criticism.
Yes.
If you don't take it, you're never going to get better. You're never going to get better.
Absolutely right.
We want to be great. Everything I tell my team the whole time, which obviously you and I are a big part of, if you're not trying to be great, I don't want you here. I don't want you here. Let's go to Mark Parkey Streams, also doing a great job with his own stuff. Loving the show. Vince, what's your ideal number of titles, and do you plan on introducing any more in JCW? A 24/7 belt opens up good TV opportunities. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm old school, man. Coach, give me the heavyweight title, give me the Intercontinental belt, and give me the tag titles and a one woman's title, and I'm done.
That's it. They should be doing that in WWE right now, by the way.
That's it. Yeah.
I said every time I toss that out, Vince, you know what I hear? Oh, Coach, it's a different time, and you'd be requiring those people to travel for Monday and travel for Friday. You know what I said to those people? If I'm lucky enough to be one of 4, I'm not going to be a champion forever. Book me on both shows. And then in 5, 6, or 7 months, whatever it is, and I'm no longer champion, then I'll be on Raw or SmackDown. You don't think that they would be smart enough, meaning the talent, to embrace that if you're lucky enough to be a champion?
And you've got titles now that mean something. Not so many you can't even remember who holds them.
Can you imagine? The other day we were talking about how Jade hasn't had not one title defense. Not one. November 25th is when she won the women's title. The tag titles on the Raw side were oblivious until the Usos just won them again. So you got all these different – I can't even tell you who the women's tag team champ – oh, it's Rhea and Io. They've gone to 1 for them. So you got 1 tag team women's champion, Vince, and doubles of everything else, which I don't know why they're doing that.
Yeah.
But would you, if you were in charge of Raw and SmackDown or head of creative, would you just go 1 across the board like what you just said?
Absolutely. And it's not like all these titles are getting people over.
No. or being defended. Or being defended.
Exactly. So what's the purpose?
Man. They let Cody. Cody was gone for 2 months. Remember, he won it at SummerSlam. He was gone.
Yeah.
Not defended because he was shooting Street Fighter.
Movie. Right.
Traffic Jam 17. Good afternoon, Coach and Vince. Good afternoon to you. What are your thoughts on the Obafemi going to the main roster? He's the next superstar. Thank you, guys. Go JCW. I've heard they're going to move him to Raw, which I severely disagree with. I think Raw already has their guys. I would love to see Oba directly, Vince, in a program with Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. Coach, I have not seen too much of him yet because I'm not going to watch NXT anytime soon. But I will watch him when he gets on the main level. But I'm still waiting for them to get Montel Ford over. Honestly, bro, if you can't get that guy over, how are we going to get Boba Fett over?
What'd you call him?
Boba Fett.
It's Obafemi.
Whatever.
And it's Montez.
How do you look at a guy like Montez Ford? That guy's been on the roster code at least 5 years, right? More than 7?
A long time.
How do you not get that guy? Oh, how is that guy not a superstar?
He looks like $1 million. Oh my God, he looks like $1 million. So does Carmelo. It seems like to me, and this is sometimes, and Vince, I can't even believe I'm admitting this. Do you ever sit there and usually it happens when I'm on airplanes where I think, is this real? Like, am I really sitting in this plane right now? Or am I just, is this my imagination, or is the world real? You know what I mean? Like those
Yeah.
really deep thoughts.
Yeah.
And every time I watch some of this content, I go, this can't be real. I've got to
Yeah.
be imagining this.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding about that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm not kidding about that. It just
Yeah.
it seems so crazy. Richard Janvrin Music. Now, I've heard he's very, very smart. I've heard this man is very, very smart. Time to put the JCW belt on, Coach. I agree.
I'm going to stop you right there. Richard Janvrin has been a Russo brand member for years and years. You know, when he talks about his music, you know what kind of music Richard does? He does that death metal. You ever hear that death metal music?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's what Richard does. Yes.
All right. Well, Richard, I appreciate the sentiment. Probably won't have you do my new entrance music. However, we can talk. We can talk. Let's go to Venom. Venom829. He is a premium member, so thank you to Venom. He goes, "Hi, Vince. When you are writing, do you try to add levels of meta commentary on the business? When watching JCW, I have got those vibes like one VJ prom." Does that make sense?
I don't know, what is he, levels of meta commentary on the business. Well, I do try to tell stories that deal with the business. I do. There's going to be, we're going to film 2 shows. No, actually, we're going to film 4 shows over the weekend. There's some very heavy stuff there about the business that I experienced that are going to be on the show. And when I'm writing this stuff, guys, I know there is no wrestling company out there that would go anywhere near where we're going to go with JCW.
Now, let me ask you this, because I think it's a smart by you to do it, but also I think when you're looking at movies, TV shows, there's a lot of edgy content out there.
Yeah.
And as long as you're, I think, respectful in the storyline, I feel like there's a lot of stories that people can learn a lot from. Is that kind of where you're starting in your mind when you start a show?
Listen, Coach, I'll tell you right now, I'll give you a teaser right now, and I've spoken about this. I've had in my career 3 very high-level women in the business, in front of the camera and behind the camera, telling me stories of them being sexually harassed, sexually abused in the wrestling business.
Okay.
That is going to be part of one of my promos in the next couple of weeks.
Wow. That is deep. That is really, really deep.
That's the business. That's, you know what? It's deep and it's part of the business.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I can't wait to see how you put it on screen, because that will be fascinating to watch. And I also think that it's going to be fascinating how people receive it, because I think also what's happened the last 5 or 10 years is the stuff that we did 20 years ago, some of it good edgy, some of it yuck edgy, that there's this perception now, Vince, that nothing they did back then could be done now. I disagree with that.
I do too.
It's how you present it. Is that right?
At 1,000%. And listen, the stuff I'm talking about, I see on television, movies, I see in all forms of entertainment.
Right. And they just sometimes it gets lumped into wrestling, and that's where really smart writing and really smart creative come into play.
Yep.
That's just
Didn't we just have something something happened in the NFL with one of the main players from the Patriots, was it? I mean, it's
Stephon Diggs.
I'm reading about that every day. I'm seeing that on TV every day.
He played.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Why do we hide those things in wrestling when it's part of the industry?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And his team did the research. Basically, it was a live-in private chef. And it was I didn't read all the details, but basically she didn't get paid, so all of a sudden she's screaming about X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Yep.
So the fact that he played meant that they did their homework and there was not much there.
Right.
So, but to your point, that's what it was. That's
Yep.
what it was. We've got another member on the Brolette wheel. B40-R8I says Triple H being front center saying the wrestlers are like his kids make you lose respect for the wrestlers. You look at them like little kids, not pro wrestlers. I think there's something to that, Vince, that we want a boss or a person in charge that has guts, that will tell anybody on the roster how it is, especially if they're great or if they mess up. You can't be friends with them if you want to run the show, right?
Well, not only that, Triple H being front center saying the wrestlers are like his kids. Do I want to see kids on television or do I want to see pros?
Pros.
Okay, period. End of story. And we see that all the time with the head on the head and and Unreal's coming up again. You're gonna see the backstage and how that environment is conducted, and maybe that's a lot of the reason why we see what we see.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to it. I think that, and I never want to speak for Triple H, but I see a lot of how Dana White moves and the fact that he's the face of the UFC, and a lot of how he moves is how Triple H is moving. Dana White loves doing podcasts. He loves doing interviews. He loves being the one that announces the fights because he's smart enough, Vince, to know that all of his fighters are like a revolving door. They're coming and they're going. They're coming and they're going. But he's the face. And I think Triple H believes if he can get people to see him as the face, even though wrestlers around a lot longer, aren't they, than UFC fighters are.
Yeah.
But I think that's what he's trying to be.
I was reading a headline. I was reading some of the headlines today, and that is exactly what Double J just said on his latest podcast.
Really?
Word for word, yes.
Yeah, Double J smart.
Yep.
You can take my stuff, Double J. It's okay. We finally found him. Okay. Producer man, I need you to throw up the email, if you don't mind. Our next one, official Jihad. Coach, it was me who tweeted you the Coach and Brolette name. May our Lord and Savior bless you both. Thank you. We're going to put the email up on the screen. I need you to email that. Tell producer man who you are. We'll go make sure and get you that free T-shirt for you and get that shipped right out to you for naming the new wheel. So thank you very much for that. All right, Trader Chris, you're going to be on the Brolette wheel this week. Vince, the WWE Raw with Stranger Things got me to watch that show. I'm on season 3 and I love it. Shocked WWE would allow Drew to become champ, but stranger things have happened. He saved us from Cody, LOL. So at least it did something, Vince, in the reverse. That there's a new viewer watching Stranger Things.
I started watching it, and I'm actually in season 2, and I think it's a phenomenal show. Absolutely. It's a great show. I just started watching it.
My daughter told me the other day, because I have like a whole list of binge-worthy stuff. I'm right in the middle of Tracker right now on CBS.
Yeah, I saw that. That's excellent. Yes.
Love Tracker. Love Tracker. So I think Stranger Things is going to be next for me, especially with your endorsement.
Yeah, very good.
Husey Entertainment. Vince, did you hear that Disco Inferno may have lost his Twitter? The world feels like a better place right now.
Husey is you talk about characters, man. Husey, what a great character in the podcasting world. Yes.
I didn't realize until I think yesterday that Disco has a different name on his Twitter. Like Gilbert Ganetti or something.
Glenn Gilberti. That's
Glenn Gilberti. Yeah. I didn't know that until.
Well, but it wasn't. It was the real Disco. Yeah, I got to look into see if he lost his Twitter.
He might have.
Yeah.
Whoever's been Disco the last couple of days has had some pretty stiff tweets, as it were.
Yeah.
Husey, why is Tony Khan always holding a drink? He looks like the type who says "yummy" after every sip. No, we're not going to say. Come on, Husey, be better. Be better.
Coach, when he does his scrums, he literally has usually 3 separate cups and 2 bottles of water.
I wonder why.
We've been trying to figure that out for the last, literally for the last 5 years. And we try to get hints of like what's in these separate cups. Literally, Coach, 3 cups at every scrum. 3.
Ugh. I can't get past the hello everybody. It's an exciting night tonight on Collision. We've got and he'll rip off. What's amazing is I don't think he has cue cards, and he never messes
Oh
up
no! Oh
the
no!
matches.
Oh, that is amazing. That
It's
is
amazing.
amazing trait. Amazing. Yes.
Juwan Lennon says, "Hope JCW hires Rene Dupree for a few matches." Is that even on the radar right now?
Everybody's on the radar. So, I mean,
Everybody.
I get 10 calls from Violent J a day of who he wants to bring in next.
I feel like you need to bring in, like, I don't know, just somebody who would be able to handle the talent. Somebody that, if needed, could be a character on TV.
Yeah. Wear a thong occasionally.
Maybe more than occasionally. We've got a double on the Brolette wheel, fried Reich primer. In 2024, McIntyre said if he led a modern day evolution, he'd pick Sheamus, Breaker, and Oba in the Flair, Orton, and Batista roles. Your thoughts? Also, if you could create a stable, which wrestlers would you throw together? All right, that's how you do a $20 super sticker. That's where the double answer. See, Vince, I know you haven't seen a lot of Obafemi, but I'm telling you, this dude, he has an accent. He is super unique looking, and he's a badass. I mean, I would throw him right in. I'm so tired of, well, we have to wait for him, or we have to wait for that. Instead of, do you know that most of the guys are like 2 or 38, everybody else is over 40, and then the young guys is Logan's 30, Breaker 28, then everybody else below that. So there's like a gap of like 12 years between the top stars and the younger stars. That's rare, isn't it?
Very, very, very rare. Yeah, that's and again, bro, that just all goes back to the system, man.
Yeah. Put these young guys on. Enough with the gatekeeping already. I keep thinking every time like a CM Punk goes over or they continue to, why is it, and I love coming to you with this, why is it that with these young guys, they'll take them to the brink, but they'll never let them eat at the table?
I just don't think they know how to elevate people like that, Coach. Coach, here's a perfect example. I told you, I don't watch NXT.
Right.
Okay. So if I'm watching Raw and Boba Fett comes out, I don't watch NXT, bro. I don't know who this guy is. Can somebody, Coach, please explain to me, why have we stopped doing the vignettes? Now, if I'm just watching Raw and I'm watching 4 weeks of Boba Fett and then he shows up, now I know who this guy is. Now I know a little bit about him. Now I'm excited to see him. Why have we stopped doing vignettes?
Those are so impactful. They don't really cost anything.
Nope.
But I think it goes back to what you teach us here on this show all the time, that they would have to be ahead of the game.
Yep.
Because remember back when we had the Kevin Sullivans, the David Sahatis, all of these guys, their entire existence was doing these type of videos.
Yep.
And I just don't know. I remember there was such a workflow too. It would go from Kevin Dunn down to Chris Chambers down to these guys. It was a great workflow. Now I think it's, here's what we're doing on the show. Guys, can we do this? Well, we're not sure yet. And with Oba, they had him 2 weeks ago win back the NXT championship. And then last week, he laid it down in the ring as if to signify that he's going to the main roster. Why would they even have him win it back?
Yeah.
If they're going to have him do that. I think it speaks to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other question is, who would we put in a stable? I would definitely have Oba. I would have, I'm such a big fan of Breaker. I think you have to have an enforcer. You have to have a star for one, and that star is Breaker. Then I think you have to have an enforcer. That could be Drew or Oba. Then you got to have kind of that little hey Spike guy. That's what Logan Paul is, and still is a badass. And then you've got Austin Theory, the guy that's kind of the 5-star recruit, but hasn't quite earned his stripes yet. That's what I look at in a faction. Is that fair?
It's fair. I'd also like to get a attractive looking female in there as well.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. I think that adds a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like the Judgment Day, Vince, has kind of been dropping the ball the last 6 months. They haven't really done anything as a group.
Yeah.
Other than beat John Cena.
It's funny because at JCW, I mean, we've got Jasmine St. Clair, and she's in a phenomenal role. You don't see that anymore in mainstream wrestling.
I wonder why. I wonder why. It's a question. Fried Reichheimer, thank you for the double sticker. Sorry we didn't have better answers. Just kind of stumbled, came on, and I'm just thinking about a million different guys. Robert Rose, Braun Breaker 28, CM Punk 47. Imagine if Jake the Snake 41 went over on Stone Cold 31 to win the King of the Ring. Where would WWE be today?
Wow,
it's a great point.
Very great point. Very good.
I thought that the other day, right before CM Punk, colored his hair to look a little bit younger, and that's why everybody does it. So don't tell me that. But speaking of CM Punk, you know how he at the house show wore the double shirt? Did you see him and Kevin Nash, your boy, are still going back and forth? Now, CM Punk was on my network. He was on Not Saying. And basically, he said he was not trolling Kevin Nash, but he instead was trying to get a laugh out of his opponent. But if that was the case, then he basically is still telling the world, I know what Kevin Nash said about me. Is he not?
Yeah, I don't know, Coach, because, I mean, Kevin had a pretty good comeback where I don't think Punk could have had a comeback from Kevin's comeback. So it makes sense. I wasn't trolling Kevin. Okay.
Let me step out of that deep end.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man.
I mean, Kevin Nash is in such a great spot. But also, it's just kind of like with the Tony Khan thing. If what you're saying is true, then most of the time people don't say anything at all to your comeback or whatever. Yeah. And what he said was true. It's not like he's out of shape, but he has the biggest prize in the business. And all Kevin Nash is saying, you got to look the part. That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
Our man Hitesh, Coach, when you show Vince Rock versus Hogan, show him when Rock and Hogan had their first promo and the Rock versus Austin WrestleMania Texas and the build and the My Way video 2001. Oh my God. Have you seen the My Way video?
No.
All right. So they had, that show, My Way or the Highway. It's like a Limp Bizkit. It's My Way or the Highway. They put together a Austin Rock video to that it's kind of what you're talking about with the vignettes in the back. Yeah. It made Rock and Austin look like superheroes.
Yeah.
Superheroes. And it's very easy to, what do we talk about? Control the controllables. Yeah. And you can dictate all of that. You can dictate all of that.
It is, though, Coach, like you said, and we've talked about this many, many times. There's no time to plan. That's what we're
None.
With all the content they have to create, and is SmackDown ready? Is Raw ready? Is this ready? Is that ready? There's no time to plan. Zero time to plan.
And it's never going to change. We know that because it's been going back 25 years now. Once Vince went from Raw and added SmackDown, and I was there, Vince, for the very first SmackDown. It was August 24th, 1999. And I remember that once that took off, there's no putting it back into the bottle.
Yeah.
Because there's too much money that these networks are paying.
Right.
But Vince, to your point, I don't know if they'll ever sit down and go, listen, we've got to either have like 5 or 10 writers not traveling, and maybe they do, and just working on current storylines so that when the heavy hitters come back, they go, okay, what do we got this week? Well, I want to make sure we don't forget about this. Trips, don't forget about this. Ed, don't forget about this. I think they need to have way more because they're missing a lot.
Yep, I agree 1,000%, man. And you need time to plan. You really, really do.
You really do. I mean, it's got to be top shelf. We're talking the best of the best.
Yep.
Best of the best. Sarge Max Still, you're going to be on the Brulette wheel on Thursday. How does a guy just coming from NXT deserve to be in an angle with the undisputed champ? Is NXT on the same level as Raw and SmackDown? I'll take that one first. That's what I'm talking about, is you asking me that question. All due respect to you, Sarge, but that's what everybody does is, well, he's got to work his way up. Vince, once in a while, you got to say, hey, he's a blue chipper. And when he walks in, he needs to be in because all you got to do is give him the rub 2 or 3 times. Then what happens? Then fans don't ask that question anymore, do they?
No. And again, I'm going to go back to vignettes. Make this guy special. Oh my God, they're doing vignettes on this guy. He must be important. Make him special, man. That's what you have to do.
That's what videos do. That's what music does. They used to go to some of the biggest bands, didn't they, Vince? And they would lease. I remember when they had Kid Rock, his song American Badass. Remember when they attached it to The Undertaker?
Yeah.
You don't think that helped The Undertaker's character?
Yep, absolutely.
Of course it did. Big time. And no disrespect to you, but you've got to stop as a wrestling fan thinking in the box, because that's not what brings the big audience.
Yep.
It's surprises. It's saying, yes, this guy is good enough to stand next to Drew. Because I guarantee you, if you ask Drew, he'd tell you the same thing.
Yep.
He'd tell you the same, because it widens the pool, doesn't it, Vince, that Drew can work in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
He doesn't want to work with 1 or 2 guys. He doesn't want to go back to a program with Cody. He don't want to do that.
Yep.
All right, Big Johnny A says, hi, guys. Have you heard about WWE getting sued for something about the ESPN move? Yeah.
Yeah, so Coach, can you? Yeah, please. I'm glad Johnny. Thank you, because we would have forgot this, because I've been reading this. I've been saying, Coach, got to break this down for me. Go ahead.
All right, so here's what it is, Vince. Remember a few months ago when they started this whole deal with ESPN, and people were like in our chat going, "No, I'm getting ESPN with my cable, right?"
Yes.
And I said, guys, they're not paying $1.6 billion to give it with anything.
Yes.
Certainly not to their cost. Now, I will say this, that Cox sent me a thing the other day, and to get people to sign up with Cox, they're including it in the package, but Cox is paying for it. And I said, there is no universe. You remember saying this, Vince?
Yes.
I said, no universe.
Yes, I do.
Where ESPN is going to pay this, start a new app for $30, and half the people get it for free.
Yes.
That would defeat the entire purpose. So what this lawsuit is, it's a class action lawsuit. It's not in the criminal courts by any means. But basically, a bunch of people got together and said that the message that was put out was misinforming the audience that they could get this app for free with certain cable subscriptions. And you can argue that, but if you watch shows like us, I told you that was not the case.
Yeah.
Said it very clearly.
Yeah.
I'm at ESPN. That's the future of the business. And the future of the business is not going to be, well, guys that already have it, Vince, we're going to grandfather them in.
Yeah.
Now they're going to lose money on it. It's the whole reason they did the deal with the WWE is to get wrestling fans to pay $30.
Yep.
Not to get it with your Cox cable or whatever else it is.
Yep.
That's the extent of it. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Guys, this is a major, major, major deal. It just is what it is. Dominic, on Lunacy, we didn't expect Vito to make his in-ring debut. Too Tough Tony and Willie Mack are suspended, and Matt Cross cost a no-contest match between Storm. Wow, this is a good recap. It's a good episode.
Very good episode. Very good episode. We're pushing 40,000 now on YouTube in the first week.
That's amazing. And then I know you do on Facebook too.
Yeah, we do Facebook too. It's hard to track the Facebook numbers. It really is. But YouTube, we just keep increasing every week.
That's all you can do. Just put your head down, blinders on. And then all of you watching right now, do us a favor. When you see Vince tweet, retweet that.
Please.
Because that really helps, no matter how big your following is.
Yes.
I promise you, it helps. So please support us and do that for Vince.
Thank you.
Certainly. Last one for right now, Mr. Talks 69. Steiner Jr., thumbs down. Logan Paul sucks. Vision horrible. Obafemi, Montez Ford, and Austin Theory is next. And it is a crime what Triple H has done to Bianca. We don't even know what he's done to Bianca because she hasn't been around.
I know, Mike. I would love to know what's going on there. That is weird.
It's so weird because she's arguably, at least in my opinion, the best. Gosh, she's top 3. Let's say top 3 for argument's sake. She's
Yeah.
amazing.
She's
My
amazing,
God,
man.
is she amazing?
I
Looks
don't get
amazing. I
that.
mean, just the whole thing.
Yeah.
Who would you say is the top female WWE right now, and maybe across the board? Who would you say
Right now, I know people would say Rhea Ripley. She's not in my top 3 anymore. I could tell you that. She used to be. She's not anymore.
I don't know if it's technically her fault or if maybe she's fallen out of favor in the WWE. When you put somebody in a tag team, that speaks volumes, does it not?
It used to.
Okay.
Unless they didn't. I was just reading a Charlotte Flair article. This blew me away, Coach. I did a whole show about this.
Okay.
Charlotte Flair said after WrestleMania a couple of years ago, she got the creative has nothing for you. Charlotte Flair, guys. And that's why she pitched the tag team thing with Alexa Bliss. That's why they.
Wow.
Yeah, she said this. This is not Vince Russo saying this.
Okay.
Can you imagine not having something for Charlotte Flair?
I mean, Vince, a lot of people don't have stuff for Hall of Famers, perhaps the greatest of all time, perhaps the greatest name in the history of the business. I mean, a lot of people don't know how to do that.
God, man, I could not believe that. I was like, and those people were not fired? It blows my mind, Coach. It blows my mind, man.
I imagine all the time what you would do with a army of writers to write for a show. I wonder how many they have.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess. Somebody, Coach, I said something about Road Dogg in one of my videos. Coach, I hate to correct you, but Road Dogg has been surpassed by some guy named Ryan. I don't even know who the hell it is. And he was like, when you're going to refer to the lead writer of SmackDown, please, it's Ryan and not Road Dogg. I didn't respond, but I wanted to just say, shut it. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say. They're two guys both writing SmackDown. Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
But, man, to me, percentage-wise, Vince, how much would you spend on the creative team? How important do you think it is specifically right now with all of these shows they have to come up with every single week?
Oh, my God. Coach, I can't even imagine how the system works. I really can. I mean, I can't imagine they made something that was so easy, so difficult. And you know what it really was? It was the combination of, I was a wrestling fan and a television viewer. Ed actually wrestled independently and worked in Hollywood as a writer.
Wow.
Give me that combo. Give me that combo. But man, bro, they've just made this process so difficult, man.
What do you think a TV writer or a movie writer has for this process that a wrestling person does not have the ability to do?
Because a wrestling person lives in the wrestling bubble and is out of touch with the outside world. In other words, they don't know how real people think. They don't know how real people speak. They don't know how real people deal with issues. They know how wrestlers speak and how wrestlers deal with issues. You saw the Tony Khan thing. They know that, but in the real world, they have no idea how people think and act.
Are you trying to tell me that they thought that a Travis Scott walk down, somehow that was out of bounds? Are you telling me that was incorrect? Are you telling me that the wrestling fan base didn't want to see that last year at WrestleMania as the main thing? Is that what you're trying to tell me? That's what you're trying to tell me. Out of touch. So here's what we're going to do. No, Rock's not going to be here. Travis Scott, what's that? No, he's going to have the belt that he can't lift, and he's going to do a walk down. He's going to take 45 seconds to be there.
Oh.
I still think back to that, Vince, and it blows my mind that is what they went with. I
Yeah,
still can't believe it. I
I
can't.
know.
I
Coach,
can't.
I saw a picture online. I guess after Drew won the title,
Uh,
were they in Glasgow or they were
yeah, the
someplace?
very next night they were in Scotland. Yep.
And did you see the crowd?
They went bananas for him.
But there was nobody there.
Oh yeah, the one side was empty. Yeah,
Yeah,
the one side was empty. Yeah. I saw several sites that kind of pointed that out.
yeah.
But they won't point it out.
No, no, no.
No. But if you're not, and this is what's crazy to me, is when I saw that, I never believe one place because they could AI that in. So I went and looked at a couple others, and
Yeah,
it was like half a house.
yeah. It was.
And
It was.
and
Yeah,
when we used to go on European
yep,
trips,
yep,
every house was packed,
yep.
full. But then also, it was 10 straight nights, and these fans could not wait. I'm sure the fan base still would love to go, but Vince, if that's not a perfect example of tickets being too expensive, I don't know what
I
is.
know, I know. I was really when I saw the pictures, I was really taken by surprise because it was a lot of empty
A
seats.
lot of black seats. A
Yeah,
lot of black seats.
yeah.
Venom. Did you guys ever watch any of the legacy media hit pieces on WWE back in the Attitude Era, like on Dateline and ESPN? We also want Coach in JCW. Yeah, I mean, there's a groundswell right now, Vince. Everybody wants me in JCW. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. You got to understand, I was at both places. You go, did you see it? Did I see it? I lived it. Are you kidding me right now? I got to ESPN right when this happened. So my first 2 years were a bitch, but they accepted me eventually. They had executives, Vince, at ESPN that didn't even know me, that didn't want me there because I was the fake wrestling guy.
Yeah,
So there was tons of hit pieces,
yeah,
tons. You just got to go through it, and if you know you're doing the right thing, then that's it.
yep.
Hannibal Miles, 2015. Priscilla Kelly, aka Gigi Dolan, said on IG that she would like to face Hollywood Haley J this year. She's a perfect fit for JCW. WWE dropped the ball on her.
Yeah, it's funny, Hannibal, because I was seeing something online about her yesterday. So I'm going to look a little bit more into that.
Yeah. If only you had a director of talent. Interesting. Interesting.
Look, how about we didn't bring this up, but you talk about
Yeah.
director and talent. Man, how about the stuff going on between Devon and JR?
What is all right.
Man,
So
man,
if
man.
people didn't see this thing, and I was just texting with JR the other day. I feel bad for both, and just on the outside looking in, I'm a little surprised that Devon brought it up. And so I've had a lot of people ask me, because obviously, I'm sure you haven't noticed, Vince, I am also a black man. However, I've been around JR a million times, and I've never known him to say stuff like this. I'm not saying that it's not true, but after 20 years, I don't know, Vince. There's a lot of things I would love to bring up that sometimes in life you just got to let certain things go. But this is not good for either person.
Yeah,
JR is the other day I saw him walking down at AEW. He
I
just
saw
doesn't.
that too. I saw that too, Coach. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Is it worth it? That's what I would ask Devon if I talked to him. Is it worth it?
yeah, yeah.
I
It's
don't know
sad.
what it's
It's
sad.
sad because I'm fans of both. I'm friends of both, and
Oh my
I
God.
just hate to see it, man. I just hate to see it.
I feel exactly the same way. I adore Devon. I
Yeah,
adore Devon.
yeah,
And, I let him put me through a table on many occasions, damn it.
yeah.
I feel bad on the other side of things, honestly, for JR. He's been through so many horrible things in his life, and wrestling has been like the only thing to
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
him going.
yeah,
So when he takes a shot like this, it's hard. It's tough.
yeah,
It's tough.
yeah.
It's tough.
It is. Yeah.
A couple more topics we got to get to, and again, because of you wonderful people out there, we always go for 60 to 90 minutes to answer all your questions. We're happy to do so. NM949, Vince was talking about flavors of the month earlier. That's why I love Roman, and he's a genius. He keeps himself special and an attraction. Vince, have you ever seen a talent that's able to work less and make more money, but at some point if they're going to put him in a main event at WrestleMania, doesn't he have to be around a little bit more?
I mean, I would think so, but look at Brock. Yeah, you know what I mean? Brock did that for so many years, man, and got away with it.
They put Brock and Roman in their WrestleMania commercial. And those are the two biggest part-timers in the company right now, period.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that they love to go with this whole Triple H is talent friendly, and Randy Orton talked about how great it is to work for Triple H because it's different than the Vince era. I feel like we need to find a happy medium or a compromise because this narrative that one day a week is a lot. Stop it.
Yeah, man.
It's not. This is wrestling. If you don't want to work a lot, then don't get into wrestling. That's what I've always said.
Yeah.
But then if you have something special you got to get off for, awesome.
Yeah.
But to me, you got to be out there grinding.
Absolutely.
Grinding.
Absolutely. Yep.
Marky Parky Streams. I'm very excited for PCO coming in. I hope you team them with Outbreak. Jasmine's Monster Corp. Any plans for a live broadcast? Mania weekend. You're getting a lot of JCW questions.
Yeah, I think we're going to be out there Mania weekend. I think we're doing something out there Mania weekend, Coach.
Wow.
I might have to bring you out there as my bodyguard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Tox 69. Triple H is holding Bianca because he is obsessed with Rhea Ripley to be as big as Stone Cold. I don't know what's going on there, but Vince, at some point, I mean, Rhea looks like she's lost some mass too. I know she broke her nose, and I don't know if breaking your nose causes you not to be able to eat, but she looks like she's lost some weight. She was in great shape for a long. She's not in horrible shape now, but you know what I mean.
She just, to me, and again, part of it has to do with the way she's being booked. Let me make that clear. But God, to me, Coach, she just lost a lot of her edge.
She did. And it's hard, isn't it, Vince?
I feel that way, man. I just really feel that way,
And I think Mr. Tox had the same one. You already put it up. Steiner Jr., Logan Paul sucks. A couple other things. Vince, I know over the years when you're as charismatic as you and I are, that we're going to have issues with different people, and that's fine. It was months and months ago where you and Rikishi kind of had your tete-a-tete. But it's great to see that you both moved on. Now, Rikishi, and this still blows my mind. I want to play something that he talked about recently on his podcast. And as much as I would love to say that everybody loves TKO, some of their decision-making blows my mind, especially when, Vince, you just brought up half a house in Scotland. Listen to Rikishi, who is on a Legends deal, talk about trying to get tickets through his own company. Roll tape. All right. We're being waved that he doesn't have it. Okay. So basically, I didn't see him down there. Basically, I love tech sometimes. He talked about, he goes, I have a Legends deal and I still can't get a ticket. He goes, maybe I could get a discount. He said, but a discount now for good tickets is $1,000 a ticket. So if I want to buy it for my own family, it's $5,000 to go to one of these big events. Vince, it's mind-blowing that they won't even slide tickets to these guys.
Coach, can I tell you something? I'm going to give a shout-out to a good friend of mine because I met him back in, God, bro, I met him like 30 years ago. The guy who runs the tickets for the San Francisco Giants, his name is Russ Stanley, okay? And he said, bro, I met him in the WWE 30 years ago. He still has the spot. Like Russ is very well known. And bro, Russ would always tell me, like when Willie McCovey wanted to go to a game, bro, they would stop everything. Like the gates would open up. I mean, they would stop. When a legend wanted to go to a game, they would stop everything. This is ridiculous. This is disgusting. Isn't the right? Sad, pathetic. I mean, this is ridiculous.
It is so embarrassing on so many levels.
Embarrassing. Yes. Yes.
I saw an interview that CJ Perry, she's married to
Russo.
Rusev, and she was talking about how much money she spent to go to Survivor Series in San Diego. I almost threw up.
God.
$5,000 she spent. She said in an interview anyway. And here's how it used to work, so everybody understands. Back when we were really taking off, red hot, New York, LA, off limits, because all of the advertisers, we'd give those tickets to them. They'd bring in, because their headquarters in those two cities. But Vince, if it wasn't those two cities, as long as there were seats available, you could get a ticket. Yep. Or 2 or 4 or whatever. Then if you went to your hometown, many times we'd go to Kansas City, they would come to me and say, hey, coach, how many do you need? We know you're going to have family and friends come. And that always made me feel good.
Yeah.
But to have and Vince, these shows are not selling out. There's a misconception that they are. They're not. They're not. Cena's last match did. But have you noticed any of them at the top of you cannot say sold out unless it's sold out. Yeah. That was a big no-no for us. So I haven't heard them say sold out in a month. And I know that leading up October, November, none of these shows were selling out. Why can't you give them a ticket in the upper deck as opposed to them buying a ticket? It just doesn't make any sense. And you're alienating the very people that built this company to get to where you're making the billions now.
Well, we know TKO doesn't care about that, Coach. We know TKO has zero wrestling ties whatsoever. They don't care about that. But you would think that's where a Triple H has a little stroke. You know what I mean?
1,000%.
That's where Triple H would say, guys, listen, I understand dollars and cents, but come on.
I know. I do want to address this one. Soat 513, Coach, are you saying Devon isn't telling the truth or that he just shouldn't have brought it up? What would you do if it was you? He was asked on a podcast. Let me be very clear. I am not saying it didn't happen. I don't know. But what I'm saying is the first time he said it, then he doubled down on another podcast. That's true. So he was asked about it on the second podcast. The first one, it just kind of came up. There's no universe, guys, that exists where you're going to walk onto a podcast and out of the blue, somebody's going to say, so, and then they ask you that question. So he had to have brought it up in some way, shape, or form at some point. I would not have talked about it, is what I'm saying. But I love Devon. And if he feels like he needs to, and this is his truth, then that's him. But that's not what me and Vince are saying. So don't put words in our mouth. And I know you're just asking very respectfully, but I would never touch it. Not 20 years later.
The one thing with Devon, though, that I was like, when he starts naming other people that were there, because now you're putting them in a bad spot.
100%.
You know, 100%. You could say there were witnesses. You could say that, but he specifically named who. Man, you're putting those people in a bad spot now.
And the other part is this, that a lot of times, Vince, I will forget.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, it's 20 years ago.
Absolutely. Like, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. I literally, this is hilarious. Cody once told me, oh, we did this. And I go, Cody, we've never worked together. And then he sent me the video.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
Mike the Finger, creative doesn't have anything for you is ridiculous. Even when talent is like, go. Imagine Seinfeld telling Michael Richards, we don't have anything for you. It's a great point. It's a great point.
It's a great point.
But this is the other part that we don't talk about very much. Guys, you think that what you're looking at in your right box is the norm when it comes to writing for a wrestling show. That is not the norm. What WWE does is they hire people right out of college. They have to sign a 3-month tryout. Imagine being around Triple H and all of these high-level alpha males and trying to be creative, Vince, in those first 3 months. They're scared of their own damn shadow.
Yeah.
And all they do is run around. They make copies and hand it out. They don't get to show what their work is.
Yeah. And not only that, after the first 3 months, I guarantee you a good majority of them do not want to be there.
I told you a story about the kid in L.A. one
Yeah.
time, didn't I?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
he just didn't get back in the car. He's
Yeah.
like, "Coach, tell him deuces. I'm out of here." Didn't
Yeah.
even go back to get his stuff. He
Yeah.
just said, his wife and daughter lived in L.A. He said, "I ain't coming back."
Yeah. Yep.
It was kind of funny at the time. I'm sure
Yeah.
not for him though.
Hey, Coach, were you
Yep.
there when Freddie Prinze left?
No, he came right after I left.
Because do you know what the circumstances were that he left?
He wanted to start his own wrestling company.
And that's why he left.
Correct. And I'm quite certain that with, his wife being a big star as she is, that probably traveling 52 weeks and having to live in Connecticut probably
Yeah.
was something he didn't want to do. Now
Yeah.
I don't know that to be true,
Yeah.
but most LA people don't like moving to the armpit of the earth, which is
Yeah.
Stamford, Connecticut.
And he's not, I mean, he's still not started that wrestling company. I mean, I know he's been talking about that for a long time.
Yeah. I think he probably realized this is my gut, that there's a lot more to it than just saying I want to start a wrestling company.
God, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
He's got a smart wrestling mind though, Vince.
Yeah.
He's super smart. I met him a couple times. I went back for, when I was at ESPN and he was still there, I went back for a couple of things. Seemed very, very nice. Very nice. He's been in some big movies too. Some big, big movies. Hitesh says, I think these shows will sell a good portion no matter what, because these people are Ari Shapiro's network. They're not even fans. It's a rich club. This is what's going to ruin them, Vince. And we talk about this nonstop, don't we? That if either Triple H doesn't stand up to them, or if they don't adjust the ticket prices, that they're going to get to a point where the feedback is all negative, regardless of what's going on the show, which will lead to negativity about the show.
Yeah. Yeah. And Triple H, he's not going to stand up to them, man. Not the spot that he's in. Absolutely not.
Man, I always try to put myself in those spots, because he makes a lot of money, not as much as the other guys, but it's a lot of money compared to what we do. He's made a lot. And I give him all the respect for his wrestling career. But at some point, if you know that they're driving the business, and this is the other part, Vince, that drives me insane. Everybody likes making arguments about the business based off of money, not based off of what the shows are doing. Because the money is a contract that was agreed to, right?
Yep.
For 5 years and 9 years.
Yep.
So the money is what it is. What are the shows doing? And if the shows aren't filling up, then you've got to be honest with yourself. Is it storylines or is it ticket prices?
You know, it's funny, Coach, because when in baseball you pay a free agent a lot of money for a lot of years and he doesn't deliver, nobody's saying, yeah, but he's got $50 billion. They're saying he's not delivering.
Right. He's a bust.
I don't understand why people can't separate the two when it comes to wrestling.
I tell people all the time, if you want to make an argument when you call into my radio show or to this show, don't make it about money.
Yeah.
Make it about storylines, make it about characters, make it about what it is, because money is just a means to an end.
Yep.
It's a way to keep score.
Yep, that's it.
But there's a lot of great stuff out there that does not have big money attached to it.
Yep.
One other thing, Vince, before we get out of here, we have one more. You guys are just crazy. M. Heaton, Hogan's racist comments haunted him in old age, bad health, and even post-death. Hogan didn't get a pass, and neither should good old JR. M. Heaton, be very, very careful. Be very careful. Like you, respect you. When you write stuff like that, you don't know the story. So be very careful. That's why we just were like, don't know. And it's one, because depends on who you believe, right? JR was like, this never happened. So you could say the same thing about JR and reverse it. So I'd be very careful. I can only say, Vince, that around me, never anything remotely like that. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and also, guys, let's not forget, Hogan didn't get a pass because it was recorded.
Correct.
It was factual. We heard Hulk say it. We've not heard that here with JR.
That's a huge, huge difference. Yeah. And also, I was in the room when all the Hogan stuff went down.
Yep.
And that's why you will not find anyone, white or black, that will defend that, because rest in peace. He never liked it. But when, we saw that BS, I shouldn't call it BS. I don't want to, but the report that the Saudis are offering Rock a big payday for WrestleMania next year, nobody knows that. But there's a couple of people that believe they do. So awesome. But Vince, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to realize there's only a couple of guys that are still young enough, but legends that could step into that spot.
Yeah.
Hogan was the first trip. The Saudis wanted to pay him $2 million. Can you imagine, Vince, going to your locker room and saying, all of you in this locker room collectively will not make $2 million for this show? But this guy over here who said all that on tape, he is going to get $2 million for one show. I think that was, honestly, I felt like that was a bigger issue than the comments, to be honest.
Yeah,
I really did.
Yeah, that's a huge issue, no doubt about it. Yeah,
huge issue. All right, we got to get the hell out of here because there's a Monday night game tonight, Vince.
Yes, there is.
So we have a very special edition of a little show we like
to call. Bring something out too real quick with these people out there. Okay, guys, the Maloik. Let me explain the Maloik to you. When I hit you with the Maloik, it does not mean your team's never going to win a game again. That's a little ridiculous. The Maloik means your team is not going to win the big one. That's what the Maloik means. So people are all over me with the Bears beating the Packers. That doesn't mean anything. The Bears are not winning the Super Bowl. That's what the Maloik's about.
Vince, what if they do?
They won't. The Maloik.
That was an amazing game. That was an amazing game.
I'll tell you what, who's the quarterback?
Caleb Williams.
Wow.
Amazing.
Gutsy performance, yes.
Did you happen to see because you and I love chaos, and the head coach of the Bears, Ben Johnson, last year when he got hired, he basically made an off-the-cuff comment that, hey, it's awesome to be here. I like beating Matty LaFleur twice a year, who's the head coach of the Packers. Did you see their handshake?
Yes, I did, yeah.
And there's actually people that still say there's nothing personal there.
Exactly, yeah, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Deeply personal.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get the hell out of here. Thank you to everybody for the super stickers today. A lot of great questions, a lot of good thought-provoking comments, so keep those coming on Thursday. If we get as many as we got today, we might do 2 spins of the Brolette wheel. Any final words? I know we'll be on Thursday before your next JCW episode.
Keep on keeping on, everybody, man. We appreciate you. Coach and I will never, ever, ever, ever take you for granted. We will never phone it in. We will always give you our all. And we got a lot of pride in what we do, and we thank each and every one of you for supporting us.
No doubt about it. And for those of you who are so incredibly smart that think I would be a huge addition to JCW, keep those notes coming. Yes. I cannot get Vince, I cannot get Violent J to answer my phone calls, to answer my texts. It's a little bit of a shock to the ego, to be quite honest with you. But I believe at some point, someday, they'll see the light. They will see the light.
Yes.
Until then, hey, I'll keep supporting just like I always do, Vince. So I'm not taking it personal. I'm not. See right there, guys? He says nothing. See right there? He says nothing. That says everything. That says everything. But yet I still show up. I still smile. I'm still here. Despite needing another job, I only have 6. All right, that's going to do it for now. For my guy, Vince Russo from russosbrand.com. For Mikey P behind the scenes, our AP, and of course, producer man, always making the show look like $1 million. If you're into Monday Night Football, guess what? In 21 minutes, we have our last Monday night show of the year over on our Coach and Company YouTube channel. In the meantime, we'll be back this Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time live on the Stadium Network, on YouTube, or on social media. Until then, I'm the Coach. Have a great night.